anthropology is the study of white guilt. It literally has the word anthropology in it.
Chester, aren't you worried about somebody taking you out too? Because you say a lot of things.
I'm not the one who's going to get shot.
Are you? You say a lot of things, don't you? Don't you worry about?
You'll get shot. Thanks, Chester.
Right, so it's another edition of Pap and Politics, and as usual, we talk to some of the most fascinating minds in South Africa, and today's guest really is the man behind probably South Africa's most beloved puppet, besides you know who and what. Conrad Koch, welcome.
I want to know who and what is.
Conrad Koch, welcome to Pap and Politics.
Thanks, Thabo. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. I know you've had quite the rock star period these past few days. You've been very, very busy. You've got a show.
Yeah, touring a new show. So much fun. It's called Puppet Power. Yeah. And it's all about the world we live in, because billionaires are making us all puppets, aren't they? They're all funding all our parties, whoever you vote for. It's the same sort of micro ecosystem. So it's been so much fun. And it's such a fun show because what happens because I do puppets and then I bring in politics as a thing. It's not the whole show. Mm-hmm. There's a political element throughout it. So I've got a rat who's a chef and he was cooking for Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump...
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, that sort of thing. Yeah, where?
Yeah.
Because Donald Trump didn't know you don't need a French chef to make French fries.
Oh, that's good.
He got fired because he served Trump a left wing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
okay,
sweet,
okay.
Yeah. So it's really fun and engaging. So you connect with people outside of the sort of hard journalism world. So I love doing that. And it's also live, so the fans come through and they can all take selfies with Chester missing. And
we all appreciate a bit of satire because a friend of mine actually went to your show yesterday and he describes this. There's this moment. I want you to tell me a little bit about that. Where like a member of the audience becomes like a puppet, and he described this as this beautiful metaphor of how people, in a way, are puppets, and there is some level of control.
Yeah. Well, Chester and I were in Durban on Wednesday for a corporate gig, and we were walking around King Shaka. And this whole Mkhwanazi thing's popping in the news and so on. And so Chester did this, take the piss. So he went up to cops in the airport and said, hey, can you please arrest stop Mkhwanazi? He's targeting political puppets. I'm going to be next. He's gone home with his friend, sends him, it's not okay. Puppets should be allowed to be puppets in South Africa. Obviously, it's satire.
Sure.
So then he goes up to random people in the airport, two Chester fans. Goes, hey, Chester. And he says, hey, don't you feel that political puppets are being targeted in KZN? It's not okay. And then this uncle who's lives in Durban goes, no, Chester, we're all puppets because we're the ones who vote for these guys. We're the ones who keep them in power.
Yeah.
And we are all puppets. I mean, if you think about social media, the way influencer culture, I mean, George Clooney in the show, the joke goes, George Clooney doesn't like Nespresso coffee that much because if he did, he'd never finish a movie.
That's true.
He'd need to go poo.
I never thought about that.
So we shaped by the money that filters through the system. Elon Musk shaped the whole of American politics with money. Yeah. So we are all puppets. And so at the end of the show, I explained the story in the show and going, this is the world we live in. And this is why the show's called Puppet Power. And I get someone out the audience and I go, the last species to rule the earth were dinosaurs, and they died because of a meteor coming at them. Maybe we have a meteor whose name's Elon Musk. So, cancel climate change, etc. We all fighting each other on social media and X instead of, whatever, instead of finding ways to make poor people less poor. And then I get someone out the audience and I turn them into a dinosaur so they can explain how dinosaurs died. And I've got this outfit where it's a little hands come through, so you have a little dinosaur body and a proper mask, like a full facial mask with its mouth open and closes that makes him look like a T-Rex. So this guy, I'm a T-Rex. It's so silly, but it's also... I'm really glad your friend took that away as a thought, because that is what was intended.
It was incredible. I was like, I need to take some notes. I had no idea.
Yeah. We are puppets, aren't we? I think
we are in a way. Yeah, of course. And it's interesting. Do you ever find in your line of work that, because satire is kind of like a humorous way to digest what's happening in the news, even things that are just so unimaginable, like satire does it in a way that's kind of sanitized, but you understand the depth. Do you ever come across people who go, I wasn't really clued up on what's happening in the news, but Chester, this funny puppet kind of, he helped me kind of understand certain things, because not a lot of people want to read a newspaper or, flip through the news wires. It's just an easier kind of way to digest what's in the news.
Well, in 2025, I mean, yourself, you're doing TikToks, you're out there, you're doing so well on TikTok, and we're building on all these platforms. And because of that, that's how people access information. If I want to find new information, I go on socials and I'll go read the newspaper article, and then I'll go find someone talking about it who breaks down angles that a newspaper wouldn't do, plus fresher voices, younger voices that wouldn't necessarily get access to a newsroom. And so Chester is that. So Chester's entire Facebook feed, his Twitter, his Instagram, it's TikTok, it's all people accessing news in a way that's entertaining and engaging and kind of shows a side of it fast. That's a great thing about humor is it can explain what it would take 500 words to explain. It can do in one joke. It can take one concept and just you get it.
And with everything that's happening now, it's almost like we're spoiled for choice, but I can imagine you have to be very, very careful in how you kind of curate and pick certain stories.
Well, I mean, I don't have to be, I don't have to be careful because the license of what I do allows me to be very irreverent, and we have a very good constitution that actually creates a special space for satire. People go, you're going to get sued. I was like, they won't win. They won't win for two reasons. The first reason is our constitution has prescribed environment for freedom of speech for social interest, for public interest, and that's what satire usually is. In addition to that, I've really introspected on my place in South African society. I did a master's degree in social anthropology, which doesn't mean I don't get things wrong, but it does mean that when I'm going to talk about race, here's an example of a joke that goes right to the edge. And if you think about it, is sort of isn't racist, but sounds like it might be. Mm-hmm. This guy, Brown Mahotsi, this guy who's accused of being a tenderpreneur and all this stuff. But Chester's joke, because you got to say the names. There's Kat Maklala and Brown Mahotsi, and they're all Senzo Mqunus apparently scoring cash out of this stuff, whatever we're hearing.
He says he's a comrade.
A comrade, whatever that means. So Chester will go, to explain the story, Chester will go, well, we've got all the Senzo Mqunus also are puppets, and we must look after puppets, Mkwanazi attacking puppets. There's a guy called Brown Mahotsi, which is a crazy name to give a black guy. Brown Mahotsi, really? Are you going to call your white friend Pinky? So you see how that joke is about race, but at the same time, it's just a fact. The guy's brown and his name's brown. Yeah. So what knowing the terrain does is allow me to deal with that. And then, for example, in my own podcast, I got Dr. JJ Tabane this week.
Hilarious.
Thanks. Yeah, he's such a great guy. But Chester will approach him on land. So Chester will go to him going, hey, why isn't, Msholozi was president for however many years, 9 years, and we still didn't get land. The land problem didn't get changed. It's just a political tool that people are saying as opposed to something that people are trying to do.
Sure.
And JJ Tabana's response was, it took 350 years for the land really to be stolen. So to expect it to be sorted in a couple of years is not reasonable. Now there's a level at which that's not true. Of course, that the NC must go faster. There's no scenario where they mustn't.
Sure.
But if you're able to self-reflect in a way that's complex, you'll deal with that scenario. You'll see all the angles at once and be able to handle it, which is what I like to believe I'm good enough at to keep people on board. So I think that's part of why I get away with it. It's partly because of a constitution and partly because I understand the terrain that I'm walking into.
And the thing is, I follow you on social media, on Instagram, and you get a lot of hate.
Oh, tons.
I mean, it's actually sometimes
it's
very
just my
disturbing.
mother mainly, but no, I'm joking. No, it's wild. On Facebook and Twitter, it's wild. And it's from everyone. It's from Gate Mackenzie's fans who decided my career's over and I'm desperate for likes.
Sure.
It's MK who think I hate all black people because I'm questioning Jacob Zuma at all. And it's right-wing, these kind of refugee types who's saying, I remember one is, if you like them so much, why don't you go live in Soweto? It's like, why are you hating your own kind? It's like, what type of weird backwardsness? Should we stand up for everyone? Yes.
And it's, I'm hearing that and seeing those types of comments. You have a very kind of hearing your understanding of like race in a historical context, as it relates to your anthropology, master's degree. I mean, it's just really fascinating. Would you mind elaborating a little bit on that as well, because I found that fascinating. I consider myself I'm socially conscious, especially as a black person, but there are certain things there are certain limitations. I'm not as clued up as I feel I'm supposed to be.
So the problem is that at the end of apartheid, there was no lesson that we taught the whole country, and in particular white people. So I grew up in Rondebosch in Cape Town, very sort of privileged kind of world. But I was bullied a lot, so I didn't fit in there easily. I'm quite a sensitive dude, and I'm just me. I'm odd. I talk to dolls for a living. I explain that. So as a result, when you I was born late 70s, so I was like a 5-year-old, 6-7-year-old in the mid-80s. No one goes, this is apartheid. I kind of have a story where that happened, where my mom told me when I was about 6. I'd have a show on racism where I explain this. My mom said to me, Conrad, thank your lucky stars, you weren't born black in South Africa. It's mid-80s. And what she meant by that is that if I had been born black, it would be a completely different life that I'm living. I mean, imagine a little black kid, mid-80s, going, Mummy, Daddy, I want to play with dolls for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no.
No, it's not
going to fly. It's not going to fly.
So I studied anthropology, which is the study of culture and how the word culture, everyone who uses the word culture, that's an anthropological word, and most people are not using it accurately. Mm-hmm. In anthropology, the concept of being aware of your own place in society, it's called self-reflexivity. And that's what I'm doing when I do Chester, literally taking Chester Missing, and he's reflecting on my place in society as a white South African, as a guy, as a middle-class guy, as a straight guy, all of those things. Now, a lot of people listening, you woke, but I was doing this long before we had the word woke. It's just about not being an a-hole, man. It's just like, I'll give you a good example. Sure. In South African media and in ads, you often have a voice that does, hey, and buy the bank now, for the, and then afterwards will be a jokey voice that has normally an accented voice that's often a person of color, usually a person
black
of color.
Accent, yeah, of course.
A black accent or colored or Indian or something.
Sure.
And that's where the joke is. So you're laughing at that accent and go, well, that's just a joke. But when that person applies to be the CEO of Standard Bank or Absa or something, they're less likely to get the job because they've ascribed less intelligence to that accent. So if someone has that accent, there's this kind of subconscious bias that you think that person is less capable, competent, and able to function, which means that when people of color will go work at a bank, for example, or whatever, they walk into environments, 62% of senior management is still white. So in other words, when they apply, there's going to be someone who is a middle-class white person or a middle-class black person, because black people have often got on board with this apartheid deal. I'm not blaming them for it, but it is something that's happened, is that they arrive and that they have to kind of subscribe to certain cultural norms. It's called cultural capital, that you have the right. My accents, I know exactly how to talk to middle-class, wealthy white guys. I know exactly what to say as far as the jokes, the kind of the knowledge, the kind of right words. Oh, cool, brew, how's it put? Lekker, that kind of world. So as a comedian, what I do is I use Chester to self-reflect on that.
Yeah.
But then I also get, because I've paid that dues, it means that when I talk about Gwede Mantashe or the EFF, it's very hard to nail me because they go, you're not dealing with your racism. Yes, I have. In fact, I've dealt with it harder than you have. So, because let's be honest, we live in a country, and now we're going to throw us into the SABC deep end, where the Marikana was 34 miners got shot down, and they were working for Lonmin, which is a British-owned mine. Apartheid was created to make cheap labor for mines, and a big part of why it was created, which Cecil John Rhodes initiated, hewers of wood and bearers of orders, what he wanted to turn black people into, for specifically to be cheap labor to send wealth back to the West. Now we have the president of South Africa is the business partner of that exact same English-owned mine, which was the basis of the entire of colonialism, is the president. So in my show, it's all colonialism isn't over. It just got a BE partner. So it's exactly.
Okay.
So when we go, who's racist in South Africa? The whole system is racist. Obviously, that's very heavy. So I got to make jokes and silliness, but that core concept runs through everything that I do.
Wow. Can I talk to Chester, actually? I'm very curious.
I'd probably advise that because this podcast is about to get really dark.
Yeah.
Chester?
Just to lighten the mood a little bit. You know?
Oh my God, I can't believe it took 10 minutes into this. You listened to, did you hear all that rubbish you stuck? Oh no, I'm a white guy. I'm such a savior. Oh, look how good I am. What do you say? You smell like what? Privilege. He's on the Rondadosh. Do you know Rondadosh? It's in Cape Town. It's a kind of place you can see someone who complains about the temperature of the cappuccino to a dude who lives in a shack. And the cappuccino's cold. Is your toilet on the inside? Yeah. Foot sack.
Has he taken you to Rondabosch before, has he?
Yes, I know. I've been there, of course, because we started there. That's why they thought UCT on a hill, isn't it? So they could learn to look down at everyone from an early age.
You look very dapper, Chester. I mean,
thank you. I know. I borrowed the suit from Tequila and Balula. We're the same height.
Of course you are. Of course
Thank
you are.
you.
Of course you are.
How are you, Thabo?
I'm doing good. I'm
glad you got a podcast. This is good career management.
Thank you. It's only the beginning. And
I love it.
I decided. Me too. I decided. You know what? I'm tired. Humans are overrated. I want to talk to Chester.
That's what I think. That's what I think. I'm gonna thigh in, and I want you to stick your hand in my ass.
Oh
yeah. Don't say that. It's the SADC. It's literally part of the job description.
No. Oh.
I just cloudy not named you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get in trouble.
No,
okay.
You're not in trouble. Trust me. Those days are over. You might be unemployed.
They really are. They are. Okay, but those days are over.
They're stationed in my suitcase. It's crazy. What's going on? Hey, how's the news? It's nuts.
The news is nuts. I mean, we know that our president is going to address the nation.
Yeah, he's got to work out the password to his iPad first, because I think that's... Yeah. You know what's going to happen, right? He's going to go unshocked. He's going to go unshocked, then he's going to start a commission. Then he's going to forget about the commission. Then he's going to be shocked again. I think our president's in the know. Yeah, he is in. He's unjust, ineffective, and the asking where his money is in his couch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But we'll see. But don't you think maybe... Do you think he'll fire the police minister? What do you
No,
think?
you can't fire anyone. Please, that guy, there's no thought. Rana thought that's why Johan Rupert was there at the White House. Whenever Rana talks, Johan Rupert's mouth moves.
That was one of the... Yeah, okay.
What? I don't know. You know
Chester?
It's true.
Calm down.
I must calm down. I don't care. You're the guys who are going to get fired. I don't get paid anyway. I got to make all my money on only thoughts.
What did you make about... What did
Just
you
$5 a month. All this can be yours, Tado.
What did you make of the White House meeting? I'm curious.
Wasn't it insane?
It was insane.
Saying that we had to take 4 white guys there to convince America that, and that's where it went wrong, didn't they? Turned off the lights. That's where it went wrong. They didn't know that turning off the lights makes South Africans feel safe.
Yeah,
we're at home.
You do feel safe, right? You do.
I do feel safe. Well, right now in SADC, this is really Takalani ANC. I love this place.
No, don't worry. You're very safe here. You're very, very safe here.
I know. I can't wait because Tito touches here, and let's be honest. You know, with this 30% tariff, he's going to have to give his accent back to America.
Yeah. You've been very, very busy. How's because I mean you are South Africa's most famous puppet, right?
Well, Senzo Nkume, you could argue, is more famous.
Okay, yeah, now maybe. But
he's got a drown's hand in a cat as well. The guy's name's Cat. You know why he's Cat?
No, tell me.
Because you ask when is he going to get arrested. The police say, meow, meow. Such a stupid joke it is. It's like a really dumb joke. I know, but it's fun.
No, but
you know that they try to assassinate the guy who exposed the whistleblower.
Oh,
there's a whistleblower in there that assassinated, but then they assassinated the wrong guy. You know you attend the renewal and even your assassinations don't deliver on their promises.
Yeah, but you know, Chester, aren't you worried about somebody taking you out too? Because you say a lot of things.
I'm not the one who's going to get shot.
Are you? You say a lot of things, don't you? Don't you worry about...
You'll get shot, thanks, Justin.
Don't you worry about maybe upsetting politicians? I mean, you make us laugh making fun of them. We love it, okay? But I'm worried about your safety, brother, you know?
No, I'm not worried. You know who's the scariest? Is actually the right-wing guys. They're the ones who have no sense of humor. They put my street address on the internet and started phoning my wife.
Oh, what?
Part of the problem is that they're just genuinely stupid.
Oh, yeah,
so they just don't understand the conversation they're having. And then you're going, we had a thing with Steve Hofmeyer where we said, if you're giving brand association to this guy who says in his books, blacks are the architects of apartheid, that's his language.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then we said, but if you're going to hang out with this guy, if you're a company going to sponsor gigs he's doing, then we got to question what you stand. Because if you stuck your ding dong in a toaster in Cavendish Square, you would never get a sponsor again. So, and that is definitely less bad than blaming black people for apartheid. So what happened is then they decide, no, you must attack any venue I do shows at. So they started buying up all the tickets to my shows, not buying them. If you go on CompuTicket at the time, you could put tickets on hold if you didn't limit the number one person buy. So you can buy the whole house if you want. You can go 300 tickets, I'm taking it. And if this guy sat every 15 minutes putting all our tickets on hold for like a day, and then we realized and we changed the setting. But
that is wild.
So weird. Yeah.
I know they were trying to mess with your bread, Chester. Can you
I know. I don't eat, so there's no bread. I don't care. He can starve. It's fine. I'm tiring, and after this, you and I are making a career, Thabo Baloyi. I think podcasting, you and I were a thing.
No, we really are a thing. You know, I mean, you do it very, very well, Chester. You know,
Thank you. You do.
Thank you. You ask the hard questions. You've got a sense of humor. Let's be honest, some of these politicians don't.
Oh my God, no, they don't.
They really don't.
But most of them do. You know, there is a thing.
Yeah.
And I chased John Steenhuisen and he ran away. Helen Ziller tried to tell a joke. Hello, it's Helen Ziller here. Knock, knock. Knock.
Who's there?
It's Helen, you idiot. See? That's Helen. I think I said to you, but we actually tried to chat to, Siviwe Gahube from the
Basic Education Minister.
Great sense of humor, really great. You know, I know they're all problematic,
Yeah.
but she's at least approachable and puts up with having smacked or spoken to her.
Yeah.
I told Siviwe Gahube that the black people in the DA have their own type of load shedding. When they are absolutely no power.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But she takes it so well. She takes it so well. And there are a lot of our politicians are like that. But there are a couple that are just, I've never managed to get Ace Magashule to really sit down or Helen's become very difficult to deal with recently. They just don't want you to mess around, and they they themselves, but they don't self-reflect.
Yeah.
They don't go, maybe I sometimes could be better. And the conversation, the idea that taking the punch makes them look more powerful, it's just
able to
astounding.
Poke fun at yourself.
Yeah, no, it makes you more powerful. There's actually literally a concept in anthropology called a ritual of rebellion. Oh, that rubbish, yeah.
No, Chester.
It's where they, it is just... Anthropology is the study of white guilt. It literally has the word apology in it.
You got a point.
That's a fact. But a ritual of rebellion is where you act up against the king. So you swear at the king and you make a statue of him and you tear it down. It happens in one day a year.
Yeah.
And the king supports it because then you release the social catharsis. You release all your tension. So when a politician will take the joke, it allows a lot of tension to be released. Going, oh, they're a powerful person. Wag the dog. Look at them taking the knock.
Yeah.
And I think the ANC, for the most part, is pretty good at that. But there's an additional dynamic, and a lot of our politicians are struggle heroes. A lot of them were struggle heroes. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And the kind of person that went into the struggle is generally quite soul of the earth, like a real kind of person.
Yeah, so humble beginnings and
There's a real sense of humor in our political culture as a result of that.
Yeah.
I was chatting to ex-communications minister Yunus Karim once about this, and he has described, the concept of humor as humor is a form of resistance. When you laugh at the powerful, you can laugh at each other. It creates a sort of survival skill.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. I'm glad we had that silent moment. That was hilarious. Aren't you a comedian? Dying. What the hell's going on here?
Okay, well, Chester, let's talk about your podcast.
It smells like DJ Thresh.
Oh, my goodness.
Where did this thing go? What does DJ Fresh smell like? Not Thresh.
Oh, no.
He's my friend. Leave him alone. He's great.
Yeah, he is. No, but Chester, let's talk about, you're on a podcast, right?
I got a podcast. We're on a podcast, and I have a podcast. And now you're going to come on our podcast without our podcast on your podcast. It's going to be like a podcast inception.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I'm game, definitely. Now, who are some of the guests that you've had that you went, oh, goodness, this person's kind of boring? You can tell us.
Okay, was there. Listen, my podcast is also very new, so I wouldn't say any of the guests now have been boring. They've all been fascinating. Sometimes they're not as like comedian types, but they're incredible people. But first time we interviewed the Lekker and Dete, the late night news.
Oh,
yeah, Shane. She had no idea what I was, so she just saw a white dude coming after her with a latex tucket with a large oven glove, and I'd never seen I'd never seen someone if Futsak with a facial expression. It doesn't help that I asked her for Goldfield shares, which is an old story.
And she's been through a lot.
She has, yeah. So that was toast. Her first time I interviewed Helen Ziller, she had a bit of a breakdown. It wasn't great. We had to redo the interview. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the first time. She doesn't know how to talk about race. I don't understand why. She should, but no one.
Yeah.
And everyone around her would guide us. You just had to see the way. Just see the way explain. But no, nothing.
And Sivira was great, right? She was great.
Yeah, she's a genius. She's great. The DA's got good. That guy, Chris Tatas, knows how to talk about race.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And who else do you want to have on your podcast?
Oh, next, I'm trying to get Fikile because he always gives me time. He's been great. We got Fikile so many times. Back when he was long,
minister.
Forever, before he was a minister, long ago.
Okay,
I can't remember what he was. But
probably not too long after the Youth League, right?
Yes, just after the Youth League. I mean, so we've gone through everyone. So Fikile has always got a great sense of humour and he's really fun. Of course, the president, Gaten McKenzie, would be fun to roast a little bit, wouldn't he? We got in that State of the Nation. That was fun. I told him that that Patriotic Alliance got 5%, so Black Label is actually stronger than. So we've got like the people who have. I know it's a stupid bloody joke. So we've got a long list of it, and I mean we just got JJ Chidhan. We got Hernan Mashada this week. He was
nice.
Great. Yeah, he's hilarious. He's such a character. I got him to say that they must listen to the podcast or we extrotherate your hair without compensation. Which ironically he already has. How do you sell hair products and not have hair, Hernan Mashada? Then we told him he should start a product just for Donald Trump. Yeah, orange like me.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good name, actually. That's a good name.
It is, yeah, thanks.
And I actually wanted to pick your brain a little bit. What do you think about the MK party and everything that's happened? You know they have their 7th Secretary General now?
I love it. I know. They go through Secretary Generals like Kanye and Dow goes through. No, kids.
No. Oh, you're going to get us.
No. Oh, it's too late for that.
No.
NK's amazing. I love NK. It's literally a club of people waiting to go to jail. It's fantastic. The N in NK stands for nothing. I love NK. They stole the whole of Nacro. Nacro had to change his name to Take-A-Lot. I love NK. They've had to cancel the wrestling because they're so busy fighting themselves. They're just going to film NK meetings. It's fantastic. Dudu Zile Zuma doing drugs late at night. Apparently, Floyd Shazambu got kicked out. This thing's a circus, man. It's a new soapy.
You heard about the voodoo. You heard about the witchcraft.
Oh, yes, I did hear about the witch. I love it. I love it that they got a Harry Potter thing going on. Who knew?
Yeah,
who knew? Living up to the Limpopo legends.
Yeah, that is my thought exactly. Apparently, Floyd took Duduzile Zuma's hat and took it to Malawi where he did, this is all alleged obviously, where he worked his magic and the plan was, that was part of his plan to overthrow Jacob Zuma.
That's
fascinating.
Wild. I always knew Floyd could do magic though. I always knew. You did? Yeah, he made VDS to sit there in the case.
Oh.
Thank you, Thabo Baloyi. You knocked
Chester?
that right into my court.
Oh, Chester. Oh my goodness, I love you so much. You are so incredibly funny.
Thank you, Thabo, and it's great to be. I'm excited about this podcast. I think you need to go in the back.
No, you need to go. You need to go.
No, Thabo, help!
You need to go. No, you need to go.
Management, help!
You need to go.
Toning Solly Malati, no, help! Phone R3 Thorum. What? It's about the genocide.
There's something about that, isn't it? Like it gives you like a secondary voice, right? In a way. I describe it as Sasha Fierce. You know, Beyonce is Sasha Fierce.
Yes.
And
identity.
I feel, yes, you have Chester.
Chester Fierce.
Yeah,
Chester Fierce. That's spot on.
Yeah. It's almost,
that's spot on.
Yeah, it's almost like you can express certain things in a particular way. Whether it's the humor or it's the wit, he uses you or you use him as like a vessel.
The concept of it is that a puppet is a non-person.
Sure.
But enough of a person that you can't ignore them. We actually had Magdalene Munsami was a senior EFF commander-in-chief.
My goodness, it's been years. What a
she's wonderful. She's a lawyer now.
Yeah.
She's great. She's a really nice person. And she did a chest interview, and then Drum Magazine interviewed immediately afterwards about the experience of doing a chest interview, which was really revealing. And she said the problem is that because he doesn't exist, you can't like get upset at him. And people have tried. I mean, they punch him. They like, I've had Dan Ruert, who's Steve Hofmeyer's sidekick, grab Chester by the head. He doesn't understand that it's a camera. So if you push, I had an MK guy. That's when Jacob Zuma.
This is wild.
They punch him and they smack him trying to get to me, but they don't realize that you look like you're mugging a puppet. So, because you are actually mugging a puppet.
Yeah.
So what this does is it creates this life that allows us to put all our stuff on, but because it doesn't exist, what are you saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you exist? Good question. It also diffuses the danger of it because it's so childlike, because it's so silly. The offer's immediately silly. So I can ask Chester will ask you the same question, but because it's coming from a puppet who takes himself very seriously, and he can get close to you. So with a politician, he'll go right up to you and smack you and get right up and like, it smells like lies. I did that. Who did I do that with? Oh, Minister for Electricity. Ramokgopa is load shedding coming back? No, smells like lies, and it just bounces out the shot, and it's just so silly. And Josian's has got this amazing sense of humor, so it just laughs and laughs, and so we all go, okay, you got to say it. He took it nicely. The conversation's on the table, but none of us is like hating each other. And I think in South Africa we have too much where we act out overt hatred. And I think there is a room for a sense of humor that doesn't let people off, because that's the only danger. So we joked about it, so now it doesn't matter. That goes, I really don't like this, but we're going to do it in a way that makes everyone feel like we're in the room and included.
Yeah, and Chester really doesn't take any prisoners, hey?
He takes no prisoners. But that also means there's some people that I can't joke with. So if I interviewed Kali Kriel from AfriForum a long time ago, and Chester asked Kali, does AfriForum have any black members? Kali goes, no, now we had one. And Chester, does he go in the back of the bucky? But he said you have one. Like, what the hell does that mean? So that was possible 15 years ago with Kali Kriel. Today, it would be a much more, because of so much has happened, it would be a far more difficult interview, and it would be more difficult to make fun. Okay. Because I do have to go for how much that zeitgeist, that group has, I know they themselves didn't say there's a white genocide, but they did add to the conversation, and they'll definitely have fought for a particular kind of, let's keep the apartheid inequality going, because that is, and a lot of people listen to this go, what do you mean apartheid inequality? So white people aren't as much wealthier than we are than everyone else just because I'm by magic. We didn't work harder. Apartheid was the seed for that, and the ANC kept that system going to some degree. So, or someone like Jacob Zuma I'd struggle to interview because it's just, this is crazy. I mean, we've just had so much craziness going on. I would struggle to make it that warm an interview. I probably could with him, but it would be harder.
Yeah, because he's such a polarizing figure.
He's so polarizing, and it's not just the polarizing. That's one thing. It's more the actual facts of the level of state capture. Life is many 144 elderly black children dying. Michael Kumape drowning in poo in his school toilet. You know, this kind of, you could argue that the same goes for Ramaphosa interview. Yeah, and I need to self-reflect very hard, because if I joke with a politician who needs to be nailed harder, but I hold back, I'm supporting the system to some degree, which is kind of what's gone wrong with the podcast space in the United States, where you'll have Troy Vaughn getting J.D. Vance onto his podcast, and then not really like, when are you going to push back against this dude, man?
They just giggle and talk about
when are you going to actually, because in the moment you don't say anything, you are acquiescing to some degree. If you see prejudice, hurt, sexism, racism, stealing, and you don't say it, if someone like farted in your face, you would say something. So you're some degree going, it's normal to fart in people's faces. So I struggle with that part of that. That's why I've held back doing a podcast, because of the dynamic of which I need to kind of put up with problematic people. Like Rob Hersoff. You know this guy, Rob Hersoff.
Oh my.
Look, would you get him on a podcast?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah? You think that But what about the fact that if you get him on, you can take him on for his rubbish?
Oh no, absolutely.
So then, would you get him on?
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
sure.
saying do you get him on. I'm saying
I would if I could. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you put it like that.
I've never been sure because of this problem. Like, am I supporting it by putting him on, or am I actually challenging it by putting him on? I don't know.
Yeah, but I saw a clip of him actually talking about the Land Expropriation Act. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He compared it to somebody. Well, he compared it to like somebody just coming up and taking your watch. That's what, and saying that's what this is going to enable. And I couldn't believe it. And people, they hang on to his every word. There are people who are listening to this.
It's madness.
And they believe it.
When the truth is, the watch got stolen.
Yeah.
It's been stolen. It's done. The watch land expropriating has happened.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is fix an actual crime. I mean, Chester's got a joke about Australia Day that's like this. It's because they celebrate the day they colonized Australia every year. It's just madness. It's called Australia Day. Yeah, it's very controversial.
I have no idea.
It's very good. So there's a whole part of Australia that calls it Invasion Day, and it's just racist. And the other part this is how much South Africa is progressive. In that concept, like you just said, is your reaction now is unimaginable.
Yeah.
Like that's just so racist. But they just do it anyway. So Chester's joke is it's like stealing someone's car and then phoning them every year to remind them that you've got it. And that's Rob Hersov. It's just, the fastest way to help the problematic part of RET, the problematic part of ANC, MK, the problematic part of EFF, is to ignore apartheid. And so when people come and go, you can't say I benefited from apartheid, and you might as well say in MK money. Because what you're doing is exactly what they need you to do. You give total fuel to the idea that these white people don't want to deal with anything in the past, etc. If we just dealt with it, yes, I benefited from apartheid. Yes, I'm currently benefiting from an economic system that Cecil John Rhodes set up. I didn't choose this. I didn't decide this should happen. But the more you argue with this, the more you give Julius's things where he's problematic, VBS, etc. You more give Jacob Zuma stealing all money for poor people so that he can fight racism somehow. You give it legitimacy. The more you take, the EFF struggles to win an argument with me. Like I'm literally arguing with them, boy, standing directly on this. You're not going to get around me on race. I'm willing to deal with every aspect of how I've dealt with apartheid. My own puppet was brown. I apologize without reservation for that. I think it's a complicated conversation because there are people who wish he was still black who are black because there's a level at which I'm performing for white people now. Monte Casino. But absolutely, he should not have had a colored accent at all. So if you deal with your racism and you deal with apartheid and go, how do we do it? Must there be a wealth tax? How do we deal with land in a way that's sensible, that doesn't destroy the economy, that does fix it? You give the people, those right-wing people are complaining about, nowhere to hide. Because, MK can't get around you if you deal with that.
Sure. Well, Conrad Koch, thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate this.
Thanks, Thabo. I enjoyed it. You're really great at podcasting. You got this really warm vibe, and it was such an honor to be here. Yeah, it's nice. Thank you.
I'm still
Put up
learning.
with this moron stuff.
I love him. That's
a problem.
I love him. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, podcasty people.